Ever wanted to send a message that only one other person could read? A real secret. Well, that idea is literally all around us, from ancient spies all the way to the secure websites we use every single day. The art of hiding that information? It's called cryptography. And today, we're going to crack the code.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. Here's a challenge for you. Take a look at this. It looks like a complete jumble of random letters, doesn't it? But what if I told you that's a perfectly normal English sentence, just wearing a clever disguise?
And that right there, that's the whole game of cryptography in a nutshell. How do you take something that makes perfect sense, scramble it up so it's total nonsense to everyone else, and then give a secret key to just one person so they can make it readable again? Well, guess what? Today, you are going to become a code breaker.
All right, so before we can crack that code, we kind of need to understand the rules of the game. Every field has its own lingo, its own key players, right? Cryptography is no different. So let's get our basic toolkit together.
You can think of this whole world as a two-sided coin. On one side, you've got cryptography. That's the art of making the secret codes. But on the other side, you have cryptanalysis, and that's the art of breaking them. It is this constant, fascinating cat-and-mouse game.
So how does this actually work? Let's look at the flow. You start with your regular, normal message. We call that the plain text. Then you use a special method and, this is crucial, a secret key to scramble it all up. The result? That's called ciphertext. Now, this scrambled message can be sent right out in the open because only someone who has the correct key can unlock it and turn it back into the original message.
So let's lock in that first term, plain text. It's super simple, really. It's just your original message. Your email, your text, your credit card number you're typing in online. It's the information before any of the secret code magic happens. Yep, think of it like an open postcard. Anyone who sees it can read it.
And ciphertext? Well, it's the exact opposite. It's that same postcard, but this time it's been run through a special shredder, a shredder that only you and your friend know how to put back together. It's that jumbled mess we saw at the very beginning. To the rest of the world, it's just complete nonsense.
Okay, so why do we go through all this trouble, right? What's the point? Well, it's because cryptography gives us 4 really important promises. These promises are basically what make our entire digital world work. Let's break them down.
First up, confidentiality. Super simple. It makes sure only the right person can read the message. It's the digital version of a sealed envelope. Then there's integrity. This one guarantees that the message hasn't been messed with along the way. Think of it like a digital wax seal that'll break if anyone tries to tamper with it. Next, authentication. This is how you prove you are who you say you are. Kind of like showing your ID to log into a website. And finally, non-repudiation. It's a fancy word, but it just means you can't turn around and deny that you sent a message. This is absolutely critical for stuff like digital signatures on contracts.
Okay, we've got the basics down. Now it's time for the fun part. Time to get our hands dirty. So welcome to your very first code-breaking mission. We're going to dive into 2 of the most fundamental techniques in all of classic cryptography. First up is something called a substitution cipher. And the idea here is actually really straightforward. You keep all your letters in the exact same order, but you just swap each one out for a different letter, or maybe a number or a symbol, based on some kind of secret rule. And the most famous substitution cipher and level 1 of our mission is the Caesar cipher. Yep, named after that Caesar, Julius Caesar. It's one of the oldest and simplest ciphers out there. All you do is take the whole alphabet and just shift it over by a certain number of spots. Let's walk through an example. Say our plain text is the word hello, and our secret key is 3. That just means we shift every letter forward 3 places. So H becomes K, E becomes H. You do that for every single letter, and hello turns into KHOR. See? Pretty simple, right?
Okay, so you've seen how to make the code. Now it's your turn to break it. You ready for your mission?
Here it is. Remember this? The message from the very beginning. Now you have the tools. You know the method is a Caesar cipher, and I'm even going to give you the key. It's a shift of 3. So to crack this, all you have to do is shift every single letter backwards by 3 places. Go ahead, take a second, see if you can figure it out. And there it is. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. WKH becomes the, TXLFN becomes quick. You see how it works. Hey, if you got that, seriously, congratulations. You just did your first real bit of cryptanalysis. All right, ready for technique number 2? This is called a transposition cipher. Now this one's different. With this method, we don't change any of the letters at all. We use all the exact same letters from the original message, but we just scramble their order based on a secret pattern. So let's move on to level 2, the rail fence cipher. It's a classic transposition cipher, and it gets its name from the way you write out the letters. It literally looks like you're building a fence.
Here's how it works. Just imagine you have two lines, or rails, one above the other. You take your message, let's say, hello world, and you write the letters in a zigzag. So H goes on the top rail, E on the bottom, L on the top, the next L on the bottom, and you just keep going like that, up and down.
Now, to get the final ciphertext, it's easy. You just read everything on the top rail first, left to right. That gives you HLOWRD. Then you read everything on the bottom rail, ELLO. Put it all together and hello world becomes HLORDELLO. See? All the same letters, but the order is totally scrambled.
Okay, so these classic ciphers are fun, but they have a really big weakness. Once you figure out the method, like, oh, it's just a Caesar cipher, the code becomes pretty easy to break. But modern cybersecurity, the stuff we use today, is built on a totally revolutionary idea, one that changed everything.
And this is it. It's called Kerckhoffs Principle, and it's basically the golden rule of all modern cryptography. Now, what it says is going to sound completely crazy at first. It says your encryption method, your algorithm, it shouldn't be a secret. In fact, it should be public. Everyone should be able to see exactly how it works.
So what does that even mean? It means that real security doesn't come from having a secret method, it comes from having a secret key. The door lock analogy is perfect here. I mean, everyone knows how a standard door lock works, right? The design is public. But the only thing that matters is that you have the one unique key that opens it. The security is in the key, not the lock.
And believe it or not, that brings this whole conversation right back to you. Every single time you make a password for an account, what you're really doing is creating a modern secret key. The encryption methods used by Google, by your bank, they're all public. They've been tested by thousands of experts. The only thing keeping your data safe is the strength of your key, your password. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. How strong is your lock?